Hello and welcome to Quietly Talking Movies ASMR channel. My name is Matt and this is the very first video for this channel, which is very exciting and quite stressful at the same time. Right, so I had been thinking long and hard about what I wanted my first video to be about. Should it be a video of my latest shopping haul, a top 10, or an unboxing of sorts? In the end, I thought, well, what's a better way to kick off a channel than with an introduction? And so this is going to be exactly that, an introduction to myself, to this channel, and also what this channel is going to be about in the future. To kick things off, I wanted to start with the title of the channel itself, Quietly Talking Movies ASMR. As the name already suggests, there are going to be two main themes to it. The movies part and the quiet ASMR part. And both are equally important and play a huge role in my life. So let me start with the ASMR bit first. So you might actually already notice, why am I actually whispering? Why am I talking like so quietly? ASMR actually stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, which is the tingling sensation that people have on their scalp, their necks and back, which is a very relaxing feeling. Like, to actually feel this, you have to be in a very relaxed state. So this essentially means that it is quite addictive to some people as well. It might be, as all relaxing things are. The ASMR feeling is usually triggered with a quiet speech or whispering, background noises, things like that. It's kind of like a quiet ambience of fire, crackling in the background, raindrops falling in the raindrops falling, behind the windows and things like that. People have different triggers. People are different and they respond differently to different things. So, as with everything, when something actually works for one, might not actually work for another person. So there are usually a different variety of tingles available throughout the ASMR community videos, that you can actually pick and choose what is actually working for you best. However, I think like the most important thing in ASMR videos is the relaxation aspect, which is something that I found so endearing for myself. I first experienced ASMR at an early age. I think it was when me and my brother used to visit our grandparents' house for the Sunday dinner. After the dinner, we used to have this kind of like a siesta time. Our granddad used to take a nap on the couch, and we played the TV on mute, and on a very low volume at least. I was solving crossword puzzles with my grandma quietly, just almost like whispering to each other, like, what's this particular field, how many letters are in that, and so forth. At the same time, she used to play with my brother's hair on her lap. And I think like the whole ambience, and I guess also the feeling full after the dinner, and feeling, kind of like, dozing off a bit. This introduced this kind of like ASMR feeling for me. So it was an ultimate ASMR experience for myself. Many years later, I think around 10 years ago, I have stumbled upon this ASMR thing on YouTube. And this has immediately transported me to this moment, at my grandparents' house. And all I see was like the next best thing. It wasn't like complete complete substitution, but it was like the next best thing. I think there's a dog in the background. So I started watching ASMR very often just to transport myself to that point in time and to that feeling. I was watching it every day in most of the time, and it in a way became my nighttime habit as I started playing ASMR video before shutting everything down before bed. And I continue to do so like till this very day. Over the years there's been like many great ASMR videos, and also I think also quite some bad. Some channels that brand themselves ASMR aren't even ASMR, to be honest. They have like, you know, the lighting is like too bright, they talk too loudly, and so forth. I myself personally, I always love these understated videos with like minimal talking, just actions being performed in the background, like very low dark lighting. This is also the ambience that I'm actually I'm aiming for with my channel. So in fact, despite it being like talking movies in the name, I don't want to talk a lot. I prefer the sound to actually do the heavy lifting in the future. Speaking of sound, I think it's going to be a good segue to the second theme of this channel, which is movies. Now, I love movies, and I have so since a very young age. I don't particularly remember the first film I have ever seen. However, I will never forget the impact that one particular film had on me when I was a kid. And so to introduce it, I'm just going to use my gloves, which I'll be using in my videos in the future as well. Here's my left hand. And my right hand. So the film is The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. The film had a massive impact on me as when I was a kid, because it literally introduced me to a whole new world. It transported me to this world of heroes and villains, of good and evil, I think predominantly, to this fantastic wide spectrum of emotions that, you know, they were so induced into me, like from sadness through adrenaline and anxiety to happiness. There's also like this gorgeous production design, the costumes, the masterful score by Howard Shore. Everything just screamed masterpiece to me and my, you know, very young and susceptible brain. In a way, the Lord of the Rings trilogy have shaped me, and it also have become my sort of a guiding light in what I believe a film should be, and I still have the highest regards about this to this day. This experience has made me appreciate the value of emotions that a film can create, most importantly, because when a film actually reaches your soul, that's a very special moment. When a film can make you cry, make you feel happy, and, you know, anxious, excited, feel that you're at the edge of your seat, that's a special film. Many years later, I think around 9 years ago, I went a step further with my film appreciation, and I started writing film reviews. Yeah, this was for a local online website, but it allowed me to actually dig deeper deeper into the movies themselves. I developed this sense of an analytical eye when it comes to movies, beyond the emotional value of films that I was looking into, thanks to the Lord of the Rings. I also was looking at some of its parts as well. I started taking more notes of screenplays, the dialogues within the film, the production design, and I think most importantly the cinematography and editing and directing, which allowed the film to basically flow and be more enjoyable for the viewers. I have seen a lot of films in my days, and also I wasn't restricting myself to only the good ones. I was watching the shitty films as well. And it has been a learning experience, if anything at all. And this has taught me that there is also a deep layer of bad, and not just, a deep layer of good, but there's also a deep layer of bad films. There's a difference between, for example, an Adam Sandler film or a default Netflix teenage drama or a pretentious slog by an art house director. Anything can actually be bad, but there's like different levels of bad. Some of the aspects of films can be actually still considered good. Films can have some redeeming qualities to them. At the same time, if anything, it has actually made me appreciate the good films even more. Films where everything kind of like ticked the box. And I think, films might not necessarily resonate with me personally, not affect me emotionally to the same level that I have actually been seeking since I saw The Lord of the Rings. But I'm still able to appreciate the film for what it has accomplished and how it has been done. In some way, just because, for example, I didn't cry on, let's say, Citizen Kane, it doesn't mean that I wasn't able to appreciate the craft that went into making it. Now, at this time, I had a couple of my favorite DVDs, DVDs of my favorite films. However, back in my home country, films were generally quite expensive to purchase, so I didn't have many. And because of that, I also didn't aspire to have many. I was just having like a handful, around 20 DVDs in total, I believe. However, a couple of years later, I have moved to the UK, the United Kingdom, and my mindsets have shifted a bit. Because I noticed that I wasn't only able to afford buying films that I loved, but also have them in the Blu-ray and even 4K quality. Now, as I was still like very much into films, I have seen a lot of videos of people talking about their collections and stuff like that. And I've heard a lot of things before this kind of like cinematic, that beside the cinematic experience, that the physical media as a film is like the next best thing that can happen to it. So no streaming service can even get close with a 4K Blu-ray disc. With what a Blu-ray 4K disc can actually do in terms of picture quality, HDR, and kind of like Dolby Atmos soundtracks and so forth. So, as I came to the UK, I started slowly with just a handful of Blu-rays that I got from Poundland for like £2 a piece. However, then I realised that I could afford having a 4K release of a film as well. And I consider myself very lucky, and I still consider myself very lucky that I'm able to do so. I started collecting my favourites as again, this is my main focus. You know, I bought 5, and 5 became 25. 25 became 100 in a very little time. Collecting is a habit. It might actually be kind of like a nasty habit that people might actually have, because you get hooked on it. There's like a release every week, and you want that new thing. There's also a whole library of films that are already available to purchase. So you say to yourself, just one more, and it never is enough. And at the moment, I have a collection of around 600 films, which to some people might be a lot already. To some people, it might be not even half of what they possess. But in my case, I strive to have a collection of films that is reflective of my personality. I prioritize films that I consider my favorites, that I really enjoy going back to. I think a rewatchability factor in a movie is also important in my decisions when I purchase a movie. I don't go out and buy every film that I'm remotely interested in. I don't double dip when it comes to the movies, and with exceptions that a film is being released in a higher quality or a better packaging. I don't have multiple copies of the same film, with 2 exceptions actually, which I might actually talk about in some time. However, realizing that there is only a limited time that you have to watch a film, as well as also a limited budget that you can spend on films, is very important, because otherwise everything can get really out of hand. Because collecting might actually be like turning into shopaholism. Yeah. So right now, I collect films that I love mostly. Films that I have already seen, and if they are not films that I have already seen, then they are films that I'm really interested in seeing, and they might not be available on streaming services at the moment. Also, I'm going through a little bit of a phase at the moment where I'm watching older films. I started, with the early films like 1910s, 1920s, 30s, 40s, and when a film really piques my interest, I tend to actually go and buy them. So at the moment, I would actually go and buy a couple of films like from the Criterion collection, like this All About Eve release. I would go and buy the British label BFI, British Film Institute label, and the films that they're actually releasing, or Arrow Video, which are making a lot of good things with their releases in the UK and United States as well. Or, for example, Studio Canal, which is a fantastic label in the UK. So, in most cases, these films are the only legal option that you can have to watch a film. However, as soon as you actually venture into the world of physical media, there is like no way you're getting out of it. As a film enthusiast, to have a film, your favorite film in your collection, is something special, because the film no longer actually just exists in your brain, or isn't just the zeros and ones on your computer anymore. When you actually hold the film in your hand, it's just a physical thing. You see the artwork, the special features that are being included into the discs. So these films, they no longer are things that you can just binge watch. They're just things you want to immerse yourself in. You want to immerse yourself in the storytelling. You actually want to enrich yourself with the knowledge and the trivia that the special features provide. At the same time, the physical medium release is an important part of a film's life cycle, and I think it's a beautiful thing that the physical media is also, and the film collection is a beautiful reflection of your personality as well. Right, so this is essentially my life through film and my collection. And now to go back to my personal, to my original thought, which is what this channel is going to be about and what can you expect in the future. My idea for the videos on this channel in the future is going to be exactly that, presenting films in their physical media releases, talk about them for a moment, in case of new releases, unboxing them, showing you how they look like, what extras can you find inside. I'll be talking a bit of if a release is recommended or not. I will also be showing other film related materials. I have other film things, including like screenplays or films like this Grand Budapest Hotel by Wes Anderson screenplay. I will be talking about other film related materials, such as some of the booklets that you can find in cinemas, talking about some great films that are actually playing right now in the cinemas. This is the Picture House booklet. I might actually be also taking you into the journey of appreciating other physical media, such as film soundtracks on vinyl and other formats. In any case, I'll be talking about films in general, quietly. With that in mind, thank you so much for watching this video. It means a great deal to me, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, thank you.